For solving equations, we really just have one rule. We need to keep it balanced. But we're going to use undoing or opposites to solve for x or get x by itself. And while we're doing that, we're going to keep track of the balance. So in this case here, I'm going to try to get all the x's to one side, all the numbers to the other side. And I want to keep my x's positive when I can. It's just a little bit easier. So instead of subtracting 3x from the right-hand side, I'm going to subtract 2x from the left-hand side. Now balance means I have to do the same on the other side. That is the most important part of equation solving, is keeping it balanced. Now I could do it in two different steps, but I'm going to do this in one step. So I'm also going to get rid of this minus 10 with an opposite plus 10 and show the opposite plus 10 on the other side. Again, you have to keep it balanced. That's the main rule. So I've got a 0 pair here, which I'm going to cancel out. I've got a 0 pair here, which I'm going to cancel out. When I've canceled those out, I'm just going to add up what's on the left-hand side. That's going to be positive 5. On the right-hand side, it's just going to be 1x. Now, I've kept it balanced. That's the most important thing. Now, I've also got x by itself. So that's my answer for x. So we're going to do the same thing here, but with the brackets, we really want to make sure that we can count all the terms correctly. So to do that, we want to get rid of these brackets. When there's a negative on the multiplier, we want to make sure we distribute with that negative. There's also this 3 here, so we don't want to combine the 3 and the 2 together first. We have to do the multiplication. So nothing's going to happen to the 3, so we need to make sure we keep track of that 3. Negative 2 times x gives me negative 2x. Negative and negative is going to give me a positive. And 2 groups of 3 is plus 6. Make sure you write down all the other parts of this equation. I haven't added or subtracted anything to this, so I don't have to worry about balance yet. Whenever possible, combine like terms. So I have negative 2x's. I've got a positive 3, positive 6, positive 2 ones. That works out to be plus 11 ones. On the right-hand side, it just stays the same. But I need to keep track of that. So I'm going to get rid of this negative 2x with a plus 2x on both sides. So I use an opposite to get rid of that negative 2x, but I need to make sure I balance it. I need to get rid of this plus 10 on the right-hand side because I want all my x's on the right-hand side, all my numbers on the left-hand side. But again, balance means I have to do the exact same thing to both sides. I've got a 0 pair here. I've got a 0 pair here. So I end up with 21 is equal to, when I add up the x's on the right-hand side, it looks like I have 3x. Undo a times with a divide. And keeping it balanced, I've got x by itself. X is equal to 7. And I can always check it by plugging it back in. For this one here, we've got fractions and brackets. So I tend to like to get rid of the brackets first, because when I multiply these brackets, I have to be careful of not double distributing. So to avoid doing that, I'm just going to get rid of the brackets. So I end up 2 groups of x minus 2 groups of 3. This is 5 plus. Okay, so I'm going to add whatever I get here. Now when I distribute the 3, that's only a times. So it's going to be times 3 times x divided by 2. The 3 does not go in the denominator. When I distribute that 3 onto the negative 2, I'm going to subtract 6. Okay, now I can combine like terms, and then I can get rid of the fractions, but I do see that there is a negative 6 on this side and negative 6 on this side. If I get rid of negative 6 on one side, the only rule I ever had was balance. So as long as it's balanced, I can actually get rid of the negative 6's like that. Now you have to be careful. You have to be exactly the same thing on the other side, on each side. Okay, not like when we're undoing where we use opposites. This is slightly different. Now once I've done that, I now have fractions. So I'm just going to rewrite this. Now again, there's lots of shortcuts for this, but I'm just going to rewrite this so I can see what's left over. I want to get rid of the divide by 4, so I'm going to multiply by 4. And multiplying by 4 will get rid of that divide by 2 on the right-hand fraction. So when we do this, we have to make sure we remember that things are canceling and sometimes things don't cancel. So here the 4 and the 4 cancel. So we don't have any 4's left. Plus, there's nothing canceling when we multiply the 2x. So I have 4 groups of x, 2x, which is 8x. When I multiply the 5, nothing cancels, so I end up with positive 20. Here, when I multiply this out, I've got a times 4 divide 2. That's really the same as having a times 2. Okay, so I'm going to end up with 6x's. So I can also do 4 times 3x divided by 2, so 12x divided by 2 will also give me the 6x. When possible, combine like terms. I'm going to get all my x's to one side, so I'm going to get rid of the x's here and balance. Okay, so once I've got this point, I'm going to get rid of the times with a divide, and I end up solving for x. X is equal to 4.